it's happening.
It's happening.
Oh, it's happening, baby. It's happening. It's taking place right now. I was here just about a year and a half or so ago, and I told you how the Lord took me for a walk in the heavenlies over DFW, and He told me, find me a field, fill it with people, and I'll fill it with my glory.
Jesus.
So we went walking 2 nights in a row, and He kept giving me this commission and telling me. So we went looking for this field. My wife and I and my kids, we drove all over Dallas-Fort Worth, and we found the field. We found the field. We went into the field November a year ago, and I said, this is it. I went into the house, and there was an older man that owned the house. He was in his 80s, and I was excited. There was a barn behind the house, and I wanted to see the barn more than I wanted to see the house. The house was ugly. Okay? The land even looked ugly in a sense. It hadn't been mowed for a long time. The guy hadn't had any help. But the Lord said, this is it. I could see this was the field that He and I was looking for. Ran out to the barn, came back. I was excited, telling my wife and the girls, and Zoe and them didn't even want to go into the barn. They thought it was going to fall over. I said, no, it's not. We're going to have worship in this barn. We're going to pray in this barn. God's going to move here. Came back in the house. I asked the man of God that was there. I asked him if I could walk through the rest of the house. The realtor wasn't there yet to show us to the house. He said, just make yourself at home. I walked into his office, and on his wall there was a flyer that said Open Air Revival. Beside it, there was an ordination certificate. He had been a missionary in Europe for years. He had written 7 books. He was in his 80s. He had chronicled the land. And that land, there had been people praying in that barn over 100 years ago for revival.
Hallelujah.
Boy, I feel the anointing while I'm talking about this. You feel that?
Yes.
He said, there have been tent meetings on the front of this land for years. He said, I felt to buy it. He bought it. He had lived there. His wife had passed away, and now he was going to go live with his son in another place. I had just finished my 7th book, Pause in My Presence. When I moved in there, he moved out. He was the author of 7 books. I stepped in, took that place as the author of 7 books. How many know God will do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had built that house, and he had put a light out in the front that was from Scotland, because he had been a missionary over in Europe, and he wanted to see things that were from his time of travel. And can I tell you, we moved on that land, started walking on that land, crying on that land. We started feeling the glory, and the Lord reminded me that we were having a tent meeting in this dream I had. So we borrowed a tent that used to be R.W. Shambach, set it up for 9 nights. It turned into 5 months of revival. People getting delivered, people getting healed. But the whole reason we got it was to prepare the way for this day that's coming to 22, that the keys of David will rain down in the earth. The young and the old will dance together, and they'll do 2 things, worship and intercession. And from worship and intercession, there will be a holy collision in the earth. Signs and wonders will be released for a great harvest. And the people that come to that field will be lit to be sent back to their cities to do the same thing in their nations. Oh, lift your hands. You ready for it? Now all I was going to do is give you an announcement, an invitation.